I don't know if you've noticed, but we here at Rabbit Hole are quite big fans of gaming and the industry that births it. That love, however, is why we can be the first to say that some of the decisions they make are batshit insane.
From throwing out Battle Royale games left and right to putting on a press conference just to talk about back-end tech bollocks for an hour, this is the 5 dumbest things the video game industry does.
Before we get started, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything Rabbit Hole Media.
Vague CG trailers.
When no one knows what your game is, the worst thing you can do is put out a vague-ass CG trailer with nothing about the game on display and expect the world to get hyped. Most of us gamers have cottoned on to your schemes and take fuck all away from said trailers. Show us something!
A mere snippet of gameplay. Anything to tell us what we might be getting ourselves into. Too often have we sat back and thought, ooh, an interesting looking action game, only for it to turn out to be card battles or some wank.
Announcing announcements.
I don't even know where to begin with this one. Whoever the prick that started this trend off needs a swift backhand to the nose. I can't even fathom the point in this. Why announce that you're going to announce something? Just wait and then announce the fucking thing.
This includes tweets, posters, official teasers, and worst of the bunch, a trailer for an upcoming trailer. I'm not even going to try and be clever and witty with this one. Just go fuck yourself.
Delaying unannounced games.
For the most part, this entry is aimed directly at Ubisoft because they seem to announce more games than they have ever even spoken about. You may be asking yourself how or why, but I'm afraid to say that we do not have any answers. All we know is that delaying a game that you've never even spoken about before is remarkably stupid.
All this does is aim negative attention towards you. The game you've just delayed is so far out you've not even publicly announced it yet you still feel the need to tell us about the delay. Arguably, delays of this nature aren't even technically delays. You can't delay something that has no pre-existing public knowledge. You're simply just setting a release date. Announcing games way too early.
Have you ever sat back to enjoy an E3 conference? A game comes on screen that catches your eye. The excitement builds as the longer the trailer goes, the more enticed you become, only for it to end with a date that you can only assume is the birthday of your first grandchild. Us too, and we're sick of it.
Showing off your game several years before its estimated release date only ever ends in pain and backlash. Graphical downgrades, puddlegate, delay after delay, overhype leading to an underwhelming final experience. It's not even uncommon for these games to never actually come out.
I know this entry seemed to drop all sense of comedic tone and jokes. That's because this isn't a joke. Stop it, cuck. Adding bizarre game modes way too late.
You know when you sit down to play your shiny new third-person action game, ready and waiting to dive into your single-player adventure, just to see the announcement of a new short game mode, exclusive to VR. You know when you saw that post and realised it made about as much sense as camembert flavoured lube. Us too.
Time and time again, developers have added bizarre and gimmicky modes into their games, and we just can't grasp why. Sure, it puts games back into the conversation if they weren't still already, but only really in a state of confusion. Take Ghost of Tsushima for example. Adding a co-op mode that doesn't really have anything to do with the themes and the main aesthetic of the base game seems, well, odd. But hey, looks kind of cool to be fair.
So there we are, a list of dumb shit the video games industry keeps doing over and over, never seeming to learn. It seems like every year, industry execs get gradually more and more insane.
We saw many other examples while doing our research, but they must all be hearsay. Next you'll be telling me that someone would take on a behemoth like Google or Apple. Nah, they'd never do that. That's preposterous.
We're approaching that time of year where there's a new game around every corner, and with the world full of life getting in the way, we often need that new game to fill ourselves with glee and splendour whilst role-playing in somebody else's imagination. Allow us to help you make the most of the next blockbuster with 5 ways to prepare for a new game release.